Yeah, just obviously take the next step towards six and get the win is huge. And to be able to kind of play a normal game where we scored and played kind of from ahead and did things on both sides, encouraged there. Felt like that's something we should do and needed to do in this particular game, and so we're able to. Frustrated with the penalties. I mean, 13 penalties is ridiculous, and we'll watch and see. I don't know how many of them are legitimate or self-inflicted, but it's way too many. They had 12 and we had 13. That's a crazy game in terms of penalties, but the turnovers costly. We've got to avoid those. The batted balls, those things are going to happen. Like to avoid the second one, but I am proud of how we kind of regrouped there and got the extra score and found a way to kind of stretch that thing out. So getting to six is hard. So, but we had to get this one to really put ourselves, I think, in a good position to get there, and hopefully we can, hopefully we can take the next step next week against a really really tough opponent. Questions?
So this game was kind of even a little bit in that first quarter, early second game to go up 10-7, but then the pick six really feel like that flipped it.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Like how big was that play?
Anytime you get a big man touchdown, I'm not going to say fat man touchdown like I did in the locker room, but anytime you get a big man touchdown, anytime you get a non-offensive touchdown, I think it's huge. Your chances of winning go through the roof. That came at a really good time. I think kind of put a little bit of air between us and them, and then the touchdown to Micah, I think came at a crucial time too. You take the penalties away, I think we have a huge day. But it seemed like every time we turned around and got something positive going, there was another holding penalty, and we obviously got to do better there. So, but I think that play, I think Switz made the play on the quarterback, and then Turbo's the guy that ended up with it. Didn't think he's ever going to get to the end zone, but he finally did.
Your offense is very much built on tempo. This game did not have a lot of tempo.
Yeah. When we did have tempo, you could see it work. But it was a grind today. It was a grind. When you have that many penalties, there is going to be no rhythm. Now we did a relatively good job on third downs where we needed to, which was helpful. We were able to move the chains and stay on the field a little longer than we have in some previous weeks. That was good. But it's frustrating when you're looking at penalty after penalty after penalty. So we got to find a way to eliminate those. And we done a relatively good job for a while, but today it was just crazy.
Yeah, speaking of third downs, I mean the defense gave up the 1/3 long early in the game, but I think they ended up going 3 of 14. So
Yeah.
How encouraging was that?
No, that's huge. That's huge because we've struggled there. There's no doubt, and to be able to get them off the field and get it back to us was really good. I'm proud we were 4 for 4 in the red zone. They were able to force a couple kicks and get a couple stops and obviously the non-offensive touchdown is huge, so it gives you a chance to win. That was much better by them on third down from what we've seen in previous weeks. So a lot of improvement, I think, across the board. Really, you take the penalties off the board and you just kind of eliminate that column. And there's a lot of super positive things that we did today.
Can you talk about that guy sitting over there?
Who? Oh, yeah, I can. Super proud he's with us. Man, he was a great addition to the room. He gets better every week. Maybe one of the best plays he made all day was one where he didn't carry the ball. We had a third down, a third and short. He took a blitzer off the edge and allowed us to cram it and get a first down. And that's not what we showed him all week during practice. So I thought it was a great adjustment on his part. But he just gets better every week. Runs hard, runs behind his pads, is explosive. And when you consider that he missed all of spring and didn't get to us till the summer, I think it says a lot about just kind of time and energy and effort he's putting in. It's a pretty big day. 181 is a pretty good day.
How important would bowl eligibility be for this program?
It's hard to really honestly explain. Huge. Recruiting, momentum for the program when you consider the schedule we've played and just how good the first half of our schedule was it kind of puts you in a hole. I mean, when you're trying to teach 40 new players how to play against the squads that we had to go up against, we knew we had to make every opportunity count. And so I think getting 6 or 7 would be huge considering this is like a year one in a lot of ways for us.
I know we touch on it like every week with this wide receiver room, but Jalen was limited to 3 receptions, and so then they respond by Micah has 6 receptions, Terrell has 6. Can you kind of talk about the wide receivers?
Well, we don't, we'd love to target particular guys, but I think it's the best thing about the room is we don't have to. They're all capable, can be explosive in their own right. We tried to get the ball to Jalen a couple more times and just, it just didn't happen the way they played him. But we're in a position where we've recruited the room well, and we feel like that if you play any of those guys in a one-on-one setting, that they all can win, and you saw that today. They're very unselfish. It was pretty cool on the sideline midway through the game. Jalen was telling me to get to a play that wasn't going to get him open, but was going to get Terrell open. And he's like, Coach, he knew the look he was getting and how he was being played, and he was encouraging us to throw the counter off of it that was going to get Terrell open. So I think that's just the way they think. They're not thinking about themselves. They're thinking about the team and each other. And it's fun to coach them and fun to watch them play.
Coach Anderson, how big was it to get ahead a few possessions there in the third quarter? I mean, they want to run the ball first, and so how big of a deal was it to kind of make them really rely on their passing game to get back?
Yeah, we haven't been in a position all year, really, except for Idaho State, to be in that setting. It's always been one possession games or coming from behind or fighting it out. So to be able to get in a position where you're several scores up, it's just not a position we've been in very much. Makes them one-dimensional, lets us pin our ears back and go after them. And, yeah, for the most part, again, with the exception of the penalties, I thought our guys handled themselves really, really well.
So, no, Brazil was getting the big yards in the run game, and Cooper Legal also involved
Yeah.
in the run game alone. How big is it to have that kind of multiple guys that you can go to with that run?
Well, I think anytime your quarterback starts running the ball effectively, and today some of those were reads, and he made the right reads. I think it does spread the defense thin. Our spacing, the fact that we've got 3 wideouts and a tight end that are all hard to match up to, running backs that are more than capable. You add the quarterback's feet to that, and you end up, being relatively explosive. I think if we could eliminate the penalties, we score a couple more touchdowns. We just kept derailing every drive, and his ability to move the chains with his feet is huge. Anything else? Appreciate it, guys.
How tired are you?
Oh, I'm pretty tired, but I got to get ready and rest up and get ready for another huge week coming up versus Boise State this week.
So how nice was it to have like a big running game, yourself, but also as a team. The running game hasn't necessarily been like struggling a ton in recent games, but obviously this is a big game for the running game. What's it like to have this kind of game?
Yeah, it was huge for us. It allowed us to open up a lot of things, open up the pass game when they really start to commit to the run, and we start hitting some big runs. I just want to give a huge shout out to my offensive line because without them, none of this was possible. They did a great job up front today.
For sure. And how fresh did you feel in the second half? Robert got more of the carries in the first half, and so how fresh were you feeling going into the second half? That's where you did most of your damage.
Yeah, I felt really fresh going into the second half. And we all feel fresh every game. Like me, Booth, Rob, our rotation keeps us really fresh. So we're always ready to go if one goes down.
Were you expecting to have the kind of workload that you did today?
I wasn't expecting it, but I was ready for it for sure. Like that's what Coach always says, just stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And when the opportunity came, I had to do what I had to do.
How much does becoming bowl eligible mean to this team? Like, how much do you guys think about it in that locker room, and how much of that is a major goal at this point?
It's huge for us. I mean, this season was a grind. We had a really tough schedule. We were figuring everybody out. We never played with each other. A lot of new guys here. And I feel like we're starting to come together each and every week. We're getting better. So it's definitely huge and a good step forward for us.
I'm just curious, where are you from?
I'm from Pottstown, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. What was it like? You went to Snow College.
Yes,
what
sir.
was it like living in Ephraim and then just having that? I don't know. That's just I'm sure a big change from where you grew up.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely a huge change, but I just wanted to play football, so I wasn't really too concerned with it. And I kind of adapt to it quick. So.
You enjoyed the sort of tempo offense. Like if you break off a big run, there was an instance earlier in the game, you broke off like a 46-yard run, and then immediately you get up, they hand you the ball again. Do you kind of thrive in that, or you're like, Coach, I'm gassed?
Yeah, sometimes you could be tired, but I mean, the defense is more tired than we are because we're used to running it. So once we get like first downs and the tempo going, we tire them out. It makes it a lot easier for us to run when we want to run, but it's definitely tiring sometimes. You got to be in shape to be in this offense.
to Russell.
Thank you.
Thanks, Russell.
That
Yes.
smile kind of says it all right now. But how do you feel?
Oh, I feel great. Definitely couldn't have done it with my teammates, with the coaching that we put in to prepare for this game. And first off, couldn't have done it with the man above. It's for me personally, it's a humbling experience, to be honest. Been through a lot last year with the major injury that caused me to have an ending season, and just to see that how God planned my life after that, it's just an amazing experience. And it just felt fast at the time. I was telling the reporters that I was actually thinking to run to McDonald's. That's how I ran super fast. But it's a great experience. Still can't believe it at the same time. But yeah, I don't know. I lost for words right now.
Can you just talk about what that was like to see the ball fall into your hands and look forward and see just open field?
Man, it's like opening up a McDonald's bag. Like you see an opening and you gotta run. And at the time, I thought literally there was a Nevada guy at the left side of me, but it turned around and looked, it was my teammate. And all I knew, I just had to run. And so it was I just thought they just did a good job. Swiss did a great job on the pressure, what led the quarterback to kind of throw it really weird, and the ball landed in my hands. And so, like I said again, this man above really put me in that position to make that touchdown.
So your first touchdown ever. Did you have a celebration planned for years? I know this defense had a lot of celebrations.
It's crazy. My celebration was actually to do a gritty, but at the same time, it was just like, oh man, it's just too exciting. And so I just went and I was just looking at the crowd, said a little prayer, and then just looked up in the sky. I had lost my little brother in June, and so I know he was watching, and so it was definitely for him.
Just looking at the defense as a whole, you guys had a pretty good game. I know you gave up a couple touchdowns late, but overall, holding this Nevada team down pretty well. What was it like having a really good game defensively overall?
It was really good. We just fell into the teachings of the coaches this past week. Kind of just fell in line what they asked, and there's definitely a lot of mistakes I would say I did and a lot of my teammates did on defense, which we got to fix for our game next week. It's just the energy we had last week on trying to get better, trying to just take a step forward on getting the degree better. And so for our defense to have done that with everyone doing their job, just had the success and the outcome we had today. And so
You've had a flair as a team for dramatic finishes this season. So how nice was it to kind of break away from that and not have to really sweat it out at the end?
It was good. We knew that we had to just keep fighting to the end, 60 minutes, and just to have the teammates on the same page of working hard and doing their jobs, and kind of led us to the outcome of just doing what is asked as coaches. And so we just got to push as players to just be coachable in the moment and just do what is asked and just work hard at it.
A lot of players have talked about how this team feels different. They've used the word love a lot. Coach Anderson's used the word love. How do you feel this group connects, or what's the team like?
Oh, you said it already, love, and then just the brotherhood that we have here on and off the field, especially off the field I feel like we're more tighter off the field as well, and that's just what brings the energy when we come to practice, knowing that we all know each other, we're all one, and so just the energy level raises our standards as well, and so everyone knows that we got to bring the juice every day, and so definitely our team, I would say, is a group of men that just love each other, who is willing to be there for one another, and just what the past of our head coach going through, and like a lot of the players on the team, they individually go through a lot of things back at home and stuff, and just to be around each other every day and just to show that support and love for one another really brings us together. And got a good win today as a team, and so we just got to keep going after and just spread that love, not only within our own football team, but just the people outside of Cache Valley out here in Logan. And it's all about just caring and just supporting nowadays. And we know that this life is hard, and so yeah.
Sandy, I'm just curious. So it was UNLV last year, right?
Yes, sir.
You broke your leg?
Yeah.
What I'm just curious. What was your rehab like? You've been able to play the entire season. So how big of a blessing has it been? It went well enough to allow you to play a full season.
Man, it was a great blessing. Just a great blessing. Just shout out to Dr. Rigby. He's the one that actually did my surgery on my ankle, and couldn't have done it with him and his team, and just the trainers downstairs. Kev and Lori, who were my physical therapy people, who kind of pushed me to do better. And I knew too after my injury, I knew it wasn't the end of the world. I kind of stepped out of my bubble and just had to do the most to get out there and just keep playing. And I just had to keep my mindset positive at the time, and just knowing that, you know, I'm a be good, and God had my back. And so during that process of my injury, it was definitely a blessing. Learned a lot of good and bad, and just here today, and just can't thank the man above enough.
Right or left?
Left ankle, and it's crazy. Just a couple of days ago, we injected my right ankle. I just been hurt this whole season, but like I said, I couldn't have done it with God and His help to strengthen me every day, and just very grateful that I'm back up and moving forward.
Cindy had a season high 5 tackles today too to go along with his big 6.
I didn't know that.
Wait, season high, career high too?
Season high.
What'd you have for breakfast?
Breakfast. Let's see. Oh, we actually had a dinner. We had a team pregame meal. Actually ate steak with bagel. I kind of make a bagel sandwich that they used to have back in the days at McDonald's. So I just put eggs, cut up the steak, put in a bagel, and can't forget the mayo. Oh, I worked there. I used to work there off season, so they give me the off season. That's where I work. Great friends with the man that kind of owns a lot of the McDonald's here in Cass Valley. But
Working there didn't make you not like the food?
I grew up loving that.
Do you use your app and get the 20-piece chicken nuggets for $5?
Phew.
You should. It's a good deal.
I still use the app to get me free quarter pounder, all that stuff. So.
Free fries on Friday.
Yeah. He's a McDonald's guy.
It's cheap.
How many more touchdowns we got out of you this season?
We're gonna see, man. I stick to my job, do my job. Hopefully, it falls in my hand again.
Anything else for Cindy?
Thanks, Sandy.
All right. No, appreciate you guys. Thank you guys.